Hello for the first Sunday of Lent. We're going to be dealing with Jesus after he's baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River. He begins his public ministry, but before he really goes to the public, he goes totally out into the desert and fasts and prays for 40 days and 40 nights. And that first temptation is the temptation when the devil comes to him and says, "Look, you're hungry. Take these boulders or these rocks and change them into loaves of bread." And Jesus said, "Come on. One does not live on bread alone." Well, what's he trying to say? We have to have bread, we have to have drink, we have to live. I think Jesus is trying to say one does not have to live by bread alone. There is something deeper and more life-giving than just bread, and that is the Spirit, and that is the will of God. And so he says to them, you don't live on bread alone. There's something deeper to live on until we get to everlasting life. And so he really tells the devil to bug off, to get out of here. Well, the second temptation, the devil, he doesn't do material things, bread alone, or miracle alone. He says power and glory. That's certainly the way the world thinks, and that certainly is what is important, power and glory. And he says, look, I have charge of all this power and glory, and I'll give it all to you if you just fall down and worship me. And Jesus, as he says, I shall give you all this power and glory if you worship me. You know, at the time of Jesus, power and glory was very important. But all the power and the glory were in the hands of the Romans over the Jews. And the Jews looked very much to a messianic age where someone would come and get this power and glory back from the Romans, and they would have it. And the devil says, you're the man, Jesus, to do this, and I'll pull this off for you. And Jesus says, no, don't tempt me like this. That's not what my power and glory is all about. Many people had this. Remember the sons of Zebedee, James and John, and their good mother. Like all mothers, they're looking out for their kids. And she had the same mentality. Hey, Jesus, when you come and you establish the kingdom and we get this back from the Romans, would you make sure that you do me one favor? Take these two sons of mine, James and John, and have one at your left side and the other at your right side in your kingdom. Have them participate in this power and this glory. And Jesus is saying, I'm sorry, you don't know what you're talking about. That's not what power and glory is here. Power and glory deals really in weakness and turning yourselves over to the power of God. That's what true power and glory is. And we know that Saul used to be powerful and glorious in his persecution of the Christians. And in due time, when he really got to the real deep message of Jesus, he even said that his power was in his weakness. And the weaker he was, the more he would go and ask for help from God, or the greater the sinner he was, the more he would ask for forgiveness. And he wound up saying, look, I am powerful when I'm weak. Almost sounds contradictory, doesn't it? But it's true. The weaker we are, the more unhealthy we are, the more we realize the sinner that we are, and we go back to God. That's power and glory. And that's where true bread, the bread of life, really begins. And so Jesus tells the devil, I'm not going to accept your power and glory theory. Well, the devil takes him up to the temple for the third temptation in Jerusalem, the top of the temple, and he says, just throw yourself down and you will just sort of float down and your angels will take care of you and you'll land and the people will really think that's spectacular. Then you will really be noticed. And that's the way the world thinks. Get the people's attention. Certainly the cop killer, Christopher, didn't. He got our attention all right. But it was a dead end. He winds up putting a bullet in his head. Corner. In the news this week, the Blade Runner, the Olympian, he certainly got our attention. And now he's accused of murdering his girlfriend. He got our attention all right. Certainly he was spectacular. And all the things that we with UK basketball now because of the accident, And here's something I really don't know anything about, because I have never seen a full session or show. The American Idol. Is that what life is really all about? Jesus says, I don't know for sure, but Jesus would say, no way. All this spectacular stuff, getting people's attention and power, that's not what it's all about. Devil, don't try to suck me into the world's way of thinking. You shall not put Yahweh your God to the test. Even Jesus, at the end of his life, in the resurrection, it wasn't spectacular. Pilate didn't buy it. Most of the Jews didn't buy it. A few of the Jews did, and that was the beginning. But that's the beginning of the way of life, the new way of looking at the world through the eyes of Jesus and saying, I'm going to try to suck it up, accept my weakness, admit my sin, and live my ordinary life, unspectacular way. My ordinary life, not getting everybody's attention. All my family and friends sort of know, but not getting everybody's attention. Not being on the evening news, but trying to live a life that's meaningful, a life of love, a life of prayer and union with you, and to try to be good myself, help other people to be good, to forgive, and find real joy and meaning in that. The devil doesn't want us to think that way, but Jesus does. The devil or the world tempts us the way he tempted Jesus in the beginning and probably all through his life. And the way, in a sense, the devil tempts us. We're just ordinary people. We're just trying to live an ordinary life and be close to God and close to others. When we do this, Jesus will be close. And we will tell the devil to go to back where he came from. Have a good day.